Okay. All right, Charlie, what's concerning me is that you haven't touched your blog since the 25th of February, which is a worry. I did ask you to put your piece, your production piece on here, but you haven't done that, which is also a concern. Remember, I won't mark your opening sequence. You won't get a grade if I don't have the opening sequence to mark. So can you do that as a matter of urgency, please? Okay, change this word because you're not discussing stereotypes, you're discussing conventions. But if you want to talk about stereotypes, then you need to say that your sequence challenges the stereotypical representations in thriller films. You can't just say it challenges many stereotypes. Just watch your grammar here. Center around of a homosexual couple. Can you just correct that, please? Again, change this to generic conventions. So here you talk about Hitchcock. What would be good is for you to show evidence of Hitchcock using focus on body types. Also show the sequence or show images from the sequence that you mention here and then draw parallels with your own sequence. Okay, so here you've got this statement here, for the provocative nature of the lovers. Now, what you need to do is explain or show me examples of thriller films which show the nature of lovers. If you're talking about it being generic and being conventional, show me examples of films which have the same kind of theme. Um, at the moment, this is just text on a black screen, so it's not creative at the moment. So images from your sequence, images from other sequences, your sequence itself with a discussion would be really helpful in this instance for this question. This is a level 2 response, which is a D grade response. What you need to do is say that all of your evaluation questions are contained within this slide because, yeah, I had to do a bit of clicking and the exam board won't be clear. They'll just think you've just got one question. So just say that all of the evaluation questions are included within this slide. If you just click the top button where it says evaluation, just to give the examiner instructions. So here you said that you did a deep character development. What do you mean and where's the evidence of that? If you can just provide that, that would be good. And then here you said that to present her in this way, we gave her the strength mentally as well as physically to kill her husband. You didn't show the killing and you didn't show who killed who. Um, you've alluded to someone dying, but we don't know who dies. So that isn't shown in your sequence. So remember, it's how your sequence represents particular social groups, not how your whole film represents particular social groups. Again, some images, please, just to back up what you're saying, illustrate what you're saying, maybe have a bit of your sequence as well. Can you correct your grammar here? Again, you're talking about your entire film here as opposed to your opening sequence, and that's what you need to be discussing. How have you represented particular social groups in your sequence, not in the whole film? So you need to be discussing, so you need to take this bit out about her running with his lover in her car. It's just not shown in your sequence at all. Yeah, this whole response is about the film. So can you change that for me, please? This is way too short, Charlie, for this question. Come on now. You've written a paragraph. Yeah, you need to go and explore. You've created a whole film company that would distribute your film. Go and explore that film company. Go and explore what that film company could potentially do. You said they've worked on films such as Fast and Furious, and World's End, showing that they have a range of work with different film industries from different nations. However, will still maintain to create thrillers. Okay, where's your evidence of that? They've worked with several thriller films, both British and foreign. Okay. Charlie, this is poor. Okay, this is a level 1 response. You've not really made any effort here. Do some research into relativity media. Did you mention that in your sequence? Because I didn't see it. But if you did, that's good. You need to go and explore relativity media. Explore it, explore the films they've done, talk about British films that they've done. Have they done low budget films? Lots more research into this, please. This is a much better presented question. Your question 5. It's good that you used Powtoons, a lot more creative than your previous questions, but you need to work on your spelling. Okay, so we've got fierce women and you've got the extent of her ruthless. Okay, just correct your spellings for me, please. Again, another issue with spelling here. You don't show that she kills Craig. You allude to it, but you don't show it. We don't see any dead bodies either. So, whilst you say that she kills Craig, that's not shown in your sequence. So, can you explain that you allude to her killing Craig as opposed to the fact that she actually does kill Craig, or we see her killing Craig? Charlie, please focus on your opening sequence. This whole witty attitude and comic relief, just take that out. It The exam board are just going to feel that you're just kind of blagging, and I don't want that. I don't want the exam board to think you're just kind of blagging it, because at the moment that's what it feels like. So can you just take this stuff out about witty attitude and softly spoken? We don't ever hear him speak. I know you said later in the film, but this is about your opening sequence and not about your film, okay? Plus, you need to link this to the audience. This should really, if you're talking about all of this stuff, this should be in your question about how you represented particular social groups. This is about your audience and how you attracted your audience. Okay, you need to go back to Powtoons and edit this because it doesn't give you any time to read it. So look, it just moves away. So just go back to Powtoons and edit it so that it gives us time to read it, because it's quite difficult to read and we need to pause it in the right place. We can't really read a lot of it. And once again, this is about characters and not about audience. So this is not really relevant unless you link it to audience. Okay, what do you mean here? One of the two villains is one of the homosexual characters. Okay, you're still talking about your whole film. Yeah, just talk about your sequence, please. Okay, your response to this question is about an E grade because you've addressed the audience a little bit, but not really. You should be talking about how you responded to audience feedback. You should be talking about how audience feedback helped you to develop your idea. You should be talking about how the audience responded to your final opening sequence. There's no real mention of that, so this is a level 1 response, which is about an E. Sorry. What do you mean by basic directory? Can you just change that, please, or just explain what you mean? Could you remove this video? Just take it off. Yeah, take it off. Okay, Charlie, you don't whoops a daisy. You don't put videos that have got nothing to do with you in terms of the work that you've done onto your blog. You put in your preliminary task. Remember, Bolu had it, and she said she'll send it to you. So you need to get that. You need to get the work from Bolu. Explain the continuity techniques that you had to use. So all of the principles that you had to observe in the preliminary task, talk about. If you used it in your production of White Widow, you can talk about it. You talk about narrative, you talk about a continuous flow to it. It's not really the way to explain it. What you should be talking about is how you've improved as a filmmaker in creating your opening sequence. Talk about your use of sound, talk about your use of camera. You talked about continuity, but not really. Tell me what you actually did. Show me the sequence, compare it to the preliminary task. You said you learned how to script a narrative properly. What was the original criteria for your preliminary task, and how did it differ from your title sequence? A lot more work on this, please. This is a level 2 response, which is a D. Good. So for question number 6 then, which is your use of technologies, this is a stronger response. Again, no images, just text, which is you're going to lose marks on creativity, but it's a lot stronger, Charlie, and a lot better. I like the fact that you talked about you used to use iMovie and splitting clips. It'd be good to have some images of some of the editing that you did. Same with Adobe After Effects. Have some images of what you did. Show me the animation that you created with your own logo for your company. Remove this because it's got nothing to do with your work. Again, this is way too short. It's a level 1 response. You said who would be the audience, but you need to break it down. this is where you would talk about why they'd be attracted to your sequence, all of the different where you mentioned characters and how you would attract your sequence. You could talk about it in this question. You need to be talking about the type of person that would be into your film. You talked about 15 to 25. You've not talked about men, women. You've not mentioned psychographics either. Just a lot more work here. This is a level 1 response.